Can I speak? Today it's very hard to talk for me. Not to me, for me. Holy shit, it's getting worse. Where even is that list? Hi guys, it's Teresa. Welcome back to my channel. To talk about some new to me authors that I discovered in the year of 2017 that I read for the first time that year and that I want to read more of in the future. Some of these have instantly become like new favorites, and I've already mentioned a couple of them in some of my recap videos for the year, but I also just like want to talk about specifically all the ones that are new to me that I enjoyed enough to feel like I want to read more of. There's like 21 authors that I read for the first time in 2017. I like discovering new authors, and I always instantly feel like, oh my god, now I need to read everything that they've ever written, which is probably impossible, but I think it's a good impulse. So I want to just talk about some new discoveries for me. The first being Liane Moriarty. I read 3 books by Liane Moriarty this year, Big Little Lies, Truly Madly Guilty, and The Husband's Secret. Big Little Lies was the first one, and it was my definite favorite. It even made it on my favorite books of 2017 list, and the other 2 were still good. I enjoyed Truly Madly Guilty a lot. The Husband's Secret felt a bit mediocre to me. It doesn't mean I didn't like it, but I just feel like I probably started with her very best book, Big Little Lies, and like nothing else by her is ever gonna be able to live up to that, at least nothing that she's like from her back catalog. I don't know if possible newer books might be able to reach that, you know, high bar. But I still do want to kind of read pretty much everything that she's written and like see what I think of it. Next is David Diliman, by whom I read Arabella of Mars. I don't know, honestly, if he has written any other books besides that, but I really enjoyed it. It's a YA book, it's very well written, it was so fun, and very much non-YA in the writing style, and like the themes that it deals with as well. It just like felt really good all around, and I really enjoyed it. Next I have Robin Hobb, who is definitely a new like all-time favorite author. So far I've read 3 books by her and loved them. Like, her writing is magnificent, and even if the story sometimes lacks a little bit, as with Assassin's Quest, which I just read like last week, I still think that she's a fantastic writer, and I know she's written a ton of books, and I'm so excited that I still have that journey ahead of me and that I can like go ahead and like read all those books very soon. Hi. I'm so excited. Next we have Jeff Vandermeer, whose Southern Reach trilogy I also read completely from first to last book in 2017. I enjoyed the first book immensely, and book 2 and 3 were a little bit disappointing, but I still want to give him another chance with some of his other books. I know that he's written a bunch of different things. Most recently I think Born, which had been on my like in my Amazon cart for a long time, and I just like never purchased it, so I don't know when that's gonna happen. Definitely let me know if you're a avid Jeff Vandermeer reader and like you have particular books that you would like to recommend, because I don't know basically where to keep going with his works is the problem. Next we have Sonia Chan and Danielle Clayton, whom I'm mentioning together because I read 2 books co-written by them, which were Tiny Pretty Things and Shiny Broken Pieces. It's hard to tell when books are co-written like who wrote what and who added what aspect, but I definitely enjoyed those stories, and I thought they were really fun and well written as well, so I want to see what each of them get up to. I think, I'm not sure which one, that's bad. Was it Sonia Chan? No, Danielle Clayton? I think Danielle Clayton has written The Bells, which is coming out 2018, so maybe I'll check that one out and see what I think of it. Next we have Jon Ronson, whose book So We've Been Publicly Shamed I read in 2017. He's a really good writer, I think, and he's a really good journalist as well, and I think he's largely written non-fiction, and I really want to read more of his stuff as well. Next we have Ayobami Adebayo, who, as far as I know, has only ever written 1 book, which was Stay With Me, that came out last year. Really enjoyed that book. One of the best books I read in 2017, or maybe the best book, I think. Yeah, I love that book more than anything. And I really want to keep an eye on her and see what she comes out with next. Then we have Margo Lanagan, and by her I read Tender Morsels. She is a very interesting author. I think she writes very weird books as far as I can tell. Very sort of gruesome as well, sometimes explicit books, and I own 1 more book by her, The Brides of Royal Rock Island. Definitely want to read that soon, and yeah, I just want to explore her work some more. Then we have Julia Haberlin. The book I read by her was Black Eyed Susans, which is a thriller, and it was actually pretty well done. I didn't think it was anything outstanding, but I think it was well written, and it had like an interesting twist to it, and it was just like a good thriller. I know that she's written some other thrillers too, so let me know if you've read any of them, and if you think that they're worth picking up. Then we have Stephen King, which is tragic. I know that I hadn't read any Stephen King before 2017. I was always just like kind of like, I'm intimidated, or like I just like don't care enough to pick up his books. But by now I've read 2 books by him, It and Misery, and I enjoyed them, and I like really like his writing. I really like what he does with his characters and where he takes his stories, even though the endings are sometimes a little I'm looking at you, It. But I definitely want to read his books. I know that he's like written 100, no, I think 70 individual novels, which is like never gonna happen. If I read 1 Stephen King book a month, it's gonna take me like 6 or 7 years to read all his books, so that's crazy. Then we have Margaret Atwood. I read The Handmaid's Tale in 2017, really loved it, another one of my best books of the year. And I own The Heart Goes Last by her, which I want to read next, and then kind of work my way from there through her collection. Again, this is kind of true for all these authors. If you've read their books, let me know which ones I should continue with, and which you think are the best. Next is Sarah Perry. I read The Essex Serpent in 2017 by her. I really enjoyed that one. It wasn't quite as good as other people said it was, at least I didn't think so, but I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed her writing style. So I know that she's written 1 book that has like really bad reviews. After finishing The Essex Serpent, I instantly went like, oh, I want to read more by her, but then I saw that one and it had such bad reviews. So I don't know if she's written anything beyond that, but again, let me know what I should read by her. Then we have Josh Malerman, and Bird Box again was one of my favorite books of 2017. This is true for most of these somehow, because yeah, I don't know, I read a lot of good new authors that I instantly loved. Definitely want to read more Malerman. I'm so excited for Unburied Carol to come out in 2018, so yeah, that's 100% gonna happen. Then we have a Japanese author, Natsuo Kirino. I read Grotesque last year and I own Out. I've been meaning to read it for a while, but I'm just like not in a thriller mood right now. Once I get back into a thriller mood, I'm definitely gonna pick that one up. It's again a bit longer, on the longer side, so I love her writing style. I think she writes about some really interesting themes, and particularly very relevant themes to Japan. And me not being in Japan right now, but knowing in general quite a bit about Japan, I just like love reading books set in Japan. I don't know. Makes me very nostalgic. Not necessarily when it's about like people getting murdered, but yeah, everything else I love. Then we have M.R. Carey, whose book The Girl with All the Gifts I read in 2017. Another book that at least made it to my honorable mentions of best books of 2017. Again, I really love the writing style, I love the way that the story was structured, I love the plot, I love everything, the characters. The book was really, really good, and I got more of his or her books. I don't even know if it's a man or a woman. This always happens with initials. Initialed authors, I'm like, what are you? Just kidding. JK. There's a pun in here, like a JK Rowling pun, but I'm not gonna make it because it's not gonna work out. Then we have Andy Weir, which is a bit of an iffy one because I read Artemis and it was really bad. But I own The Martian and I still want to read The Martian, so I put him on this list. I'm probably gonna read it eventually, but it's just not really high on my priority list right now just because of my bad experiences with Artemis. Even though a lot of you have been telling me in the comments that The Martian is much better and that I definitely shouldn't skip it, so I'll definitely do that eventually. Next is another one I'm not quite as sure about, and that is Peter Swanson. I read The Kind Worth Killing, which was a thriller that was okay. I felt it was a bit overhyped, so I felt compelled to pick it up, but I ended up not really loving it as much as many other people do. I think he's written more thrillers and he's even coming out with another one this year, but I just am not sure about him. Let me know again what you think about him in general and which book you think is the best. The rest are again pretty much instant new favorites. Then we have Blake Crouch, which the Pines trilogy, Wayward Pines trilogy, is bae for me. It is my new favorite series. I just finished it a couple weeks ago. It was everything. I loved it. So fucking amazing. Check out my review of it if you haven't seen it yet. It's completely spoiler free, so do that. Then we have Marisha Pessl with The Night Film, which was also a best book of 2017. La-di-da, I've talked about this plenty. I love that book, and I know that she's written other books that I've had my eye on for a while. and one of them being Special Topics in Calamity Physics, which I really want to check out. So again, let me know if you liked it. Then we have Cixin Liu, who is a Chinese author, and I read The Three-Body Problem by him. I want to finish that series and then see what else he has written, because I like his style of writing and he seems like such a smart person. Like, the amount of science that he has to know to write such heavy sci-fi is just like mind-blowing. So I love his writing. I love that he like sets his books in China as well. Which makes sense since he's Chinese, but I like everything about him, so we'll be reading more, definitely. And finally we have Helene Wecker, who wrote The Golem and the Genie, another favorite of mine from 2017. It's very creative, it's very well written, it deals with a lot of interesting themes, and I just like her view of the world as presented in that book, so I think I'm gonna like her other books as well, and I really can't wait for the sequel to The Golem and the Genie coming out in 2018. So I know that was a lot, but those are all of the new to me authors in 2017 that I really want to read more by. There were obviously also a few new to me authors in 2017 that I didn't particularly feel like reading more by, so if you want to see me do a video on that, just leave a request down below. But I will also let you know that I have previously filmed a video like a few months ago on authors I will never read again, which was a little bit more contentious, but this time I really just like, those aren't particularly authors that I completely hated, but I just like don't really feel like picking up more of their books. But yeah, I can do that if you want. Let me know in the comments. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button for more videos every Tuesdays and Fridays. And please like this video so more people can see it. Thank you so much, and I will see you very soon with another video. Have a lovely week. Bye!